Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Cool Down Lap presented by Midwest Motorsports. Anthony Castor here, driver of the 8 in the Cup Series and the 8 in the Road Series whenever I can make it. And I'm joined here tonight with Justin Thaler, driver of the 2 Cup truck and Road Series car. Justin is also standing in as a broadcaster for the finale there, and probably maybe a race to start. We'll see how James comes along, coming off of his recovery here. But Justin got to step into the broadcast booth. So welcome here, Justin. How you doing, man?
Anthony, I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, not too bad, man. Glad to hear you back on the podcast. Well, us two together. I know you and Eric took over for a while, and I appreciate the heck out of that. And James along with it. So um, we're gonna get back to some normalcy here with the podcast and get back to it. So how's broadcasting, man? Did that go well for you over the weekend?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Eric, since it's I guess more convenient for him, was running the cameras there, so I didn't have to try and fiddle with that while watching the race, while calling it on Friday or Sunday. So it went really well. It's fun. I mean, I'm all about it. It's a good time. Would I rather be, behind the wheel competing, whether it be for, maybe a top finishing position or somewhere down the pack? Yeah, absolutely. But being in the booth is always fun. It's fun to kind of call it, especially at a track you kind of know and you feel you run well at. And then on Sunday, Michael Harris, who's no stranger to the broadcast, joined us. So it was all three of us, and we had a really good time. So it all went pretty smooth. We
Yeah,
missed James. We missed James for
of
sure, and
course.
he's got nothing but our good vibes, thoughts, and prayers going out to him, and he's doing well. He'll be back once he's able to do so, and you won't have to listen to us amateur idiots on the broadcast anymore. But I do want to give a huge shout out and thanks to Adam Sondag, who typically runs the cameras and does a little bit of the color commentary on Tuesday nights for the Road Series. He killed it for our week one opener in the Road Series for our season 9 at Road America, and he might be having a special guest in the booth with him tomorrow night for week 2 at Watkins Glen. So huge shout out and thanks to Adam for stepping in and filling that role. He does a really good job.
Yeah, I did get a chance to go back listen to the Road Series. Adam has one of those broadcast voices, so it's really easy to listen to him and just have him kind of like just slip into it, talk about everything. And I did enjoy some of the commentary about Road America in person, like, oh, you can get some great sausage over here, or this is a great corner for this and that. So it was really enjoyable to hear that. And he had a really good race to call, which we'll be breaking down here shortly. Excellent job by you, Road Series guys, putting on a good race. And in all honesty, it seems like, at least from the races I got to see, the Truck Series put on a really good one. Nice tight racing with uh, Jason Phillips, man, my rookie of the year, leading some laps and putting it down. But again, we'll break that stuff down a little bit later into the show. And again, if you guys haven't, in the announcements, there's a message that Justin put up. It might be gone right now, but there is a form in there. If you guys got a chance to fill out that form, thank you. To send your any thoughts you have or any well wishes out to James Johnson. In all honesty, if you didn't get a chance to fill out that form and you just want to send him, send him some thoughts and just reach out to him, see how he's doing. Just DM the guy. I mean, I'm sure he's thankful for all the messages he's getting and stuff, and it's helping him get through whatever ailment he's going through. So, um, before we go hopping into everything, there is a another announcement that was posted on the board. Let me go ahead and switch that over on the podcast slides here. So we are doing another Midwest Motorsports Indy 500 The voting for when it's going to take place or when it should take place is up. So if you guys get a chance, go ahead, pop over to the announcements in the Discord. If you want to participate, go ahead, check what date works best for you. Most votes is going to be the date we do it. For anybody that doesn't know, we did this last season. Trevor McLaughlin, I believe, hosted it last season too. So he's hosting it this year as well. It's only for league members, so you got to be a league member. And the race winner will receive a $50 iRacing gift card. So any member that's participating in any of the three series that we put on, so Road Cup Truck, you can sign up for this. So right now we are just looking for the best date and time, and then we'll continue adding more information as it becomes available. Voting for that will close on the 4th. So that is next Sunday. So if you didn't get a chance, you want to participate in this, it sounded like a blast last season. Um, Go ahead, vote for whatever date works for you, and we can get all this stuff rolling and get it started. JT, did you participate in last season's Indy 500?
Believe so. Um, think I only made it in maybe like 15, 25 laps. And that was the end of my ride. I tried to do the actual iRacing one years ago, and it was miserable. Not to say that what Trevor Mack puts on, because it'll be more, it's not going to be an official open iRacing series lobby. But I don't know. Might give it a shot if I'm available, depending on the time slot in the day that the guys pick. I might jump in there and see if I can wheel it around. It's fun. I mean, all the adjustments with your track bar and things like that. You kind of gotta understand, where to set those depending on if you're in traffic, free air, and things like that. So we'll definitely need to put enough practice in to figure that all out again because I completely forget.
Yeah, that's something I have to watch some videos on to actually understand what I'm messing with. Because last thing you want to do is be going through a corner or coming out of a corner, changing something, and then completely changing how the car handles in the next corner. So
Hmm.
definitely going to watch some videos, figure out how to set that up because that is something that I would definitely be interested in running in. Um, I mean, $50 gift card, cool, great. I'm in it for the racing, and the Indy cars seem like at an oval seem like they would be a blast as long as you can keep the car on the ground. So, um, again, announcements tab, go in there, check it out, and all league information that we feel like everybody needs to know about, will be found in there. So if you have any questions, just hold on to them for now, jot them down somewhere, and then once we start releasing information, feel free to ask them. But at this point, we're just picking out dates. So vote, and we'll get it started here.
Yeah, shout out Trevor Mack for putting that on again. Super super cool and generous of him.
Yep, for sure. Especially $50. I mean, that is by
Is
what?
is there an exchange rate though from Canadian to
Oh,
US if a US member wins? I don't.
shouldn't it be like $75 then? Oh, we're just busting. Thanks again, Trevor. That's actually awesome. So, um, well, let's dive into it, man. You ready to get into the road series?
Yeah, what do you got?
Well, what do I have? The road series started their season off out in Road America. I'm going to go ahead and just throw the winner photo up there. Chase Fincher started off with the pole in the GT3 side, and it was Nick Aslin who took the pole for the GT4s. Again, Adam Sondag. If you guys did not get a chance to watch the broadcast for the for the Road Series race, go back and watch it. Adam did a really good job, kind of making it feel like if you haven't been to Road America, that you want to go there. Which I mean, it's a great track, beautiful area, but just some of the activities around the track and such that he was talking about definitely makes it so you want to go out there. Um, did not, at least according to the broadcast, Justin, you can speak to this. You guys did not have a calamity down in turn one on lap one. I know last season there was a big pile up to the point where Josh almost had to release the safety car, but everything looked clean. Is the broadcast showing that correctly?
Yeah, pretty much everybody funneled into that hairpin. Uh, Technically, is it turn three?
Oh
Down at the
yes,
bottom of the
yes
hill,
it
that
is.
hard braking zone. Everybody funneled through there. It was I don't know, from my point of view, it looked a little rowdy back towards the tail end of the GT3 pack at least, but just good hard clean racing. But yeah, everybody made it through. I don't really think there was, many real big issues or anything. So everybody for the most part played nice, played fair, but they put up competition for everyone around them.
Yeah, I'm watching the broadcast. It honestly, it looked like a really clean race. It looked like one instance where the broadcast did catch one car kind of pinching another one, and not really leaving much space there. But I mean, that's hard racing. I mean, you're going to have that when you're going too wide into a corner. Somebody's going to feel that they can get into the throttle just a little bit earlier and kind of shove a car wide. But um, let's see here. So looks like Chase Fincher again had the pole, and it was a tight battle for anybody who didn't get to watch it from about lap one until about 10 to 15 minutes into the race between Chase Fincher, Jason Phillips, and Shea McNeely. And when I say tight race, there was like less than half a second separating all three cars. And I've seen Chase Fincher out on the track, and that man he's a surgeon. Like he can hit his marks, he goes fast. So kudos to both Jason Phillips and Shea McNeely for holding his feet to the fire for as long as they did. Um, trying to force an issue or trying to get him out of that cool zone. So for the GT3, that went on for about 10 to 15 minutes. And Nick Aslin and Ron Kabiltis in the GT4 class kind of battled for the lead at the start of the race. So there were two separate battles going on that for the leads of the race. There were some battles in between, but it's kind of hard to track that stuff with so many competitors. But again, if you watch the broadcast, you'll see that there wasn't really much space in between each of the cars there.
Mhm.
So the broadcast did catch one interesting aspect there, JT, and I wanted to ask you about it. How was it navigating and picking your passing points when you were catching these GT4 cars?
Um, well, it was a little difficult. Most of them, for the most part, did a really good job just really sticking to the line and kind of forcing the GT3s to truly navigate through the traffic. I was in a tight battle with Dusty Coffee, which seemed like the entire race. Either he was in front of me, behind me, to my left, to my right. So him and I talked after the race, and it was just a blast. Him and I going back and forth. And it seemed like, you did have to kind of set it up right. I know that coming to the kink after the carousel, that's where it was kind of difficult. If you could get the run out of the carousel and comfortably clear a GT4 that was ahead of you, it was smooth sailing. I made a pass on him there. I think he was trying to basically just stay right on the tail entering the kink of the GT4. Whereas when I was starting to get towards GT4, if I knew I wasn't going to make it, um, I was coming out the throttle a little bit before the entry and then just getting back on just so I could take advantage of the exit speed and not get, caught behind the GT4 where I know for one particular instance, basically, he followed the GT4 right through the kink, and I was behind him, and he washed out on exit like you normally would on the traditional racing line, where basically I had the power to just hang to the right a little more on exit and kind of almost pick him with that GT4 there. So there, and going into like Canada corner, which would be the next corner. Yeah, it was a little rough. Just you really had to be mindful of that, but it was like constant nonstop. The first couple laps, obviously, with the GT4s being grouped together more, made it a little more difficult. But other than that, um, felt like it was pretty good. Yeah, it looks like Chase kind of backed me up. He never had issues. Said he was just kind of getting lucky maybe with the timing, but um, for the most part, man, you got the long straights there. You have, like I said, you have the section at the kink, which is really high speed. So you didn't have to sweat if you weren't able to clear a GT4 before a corner leading up to those straights. You really didn't have to sweat over it because there's not a series of corners coming up where you're kind of gonna be stuck behind them either.
Yeah, I do believe the broadcast caught a. It looked like a bee's nest of GT4s just being engulfed by these GT3s on a straight, thankfully. But still, it was like, man, that's a big nest to be passing. But thankfully, you did mention it. Road America has some nice long straight stretches that you can really put the power down, especially in that Ford Mustang to go blow some eardrums out as you're passing them.
Yeah, that's the best part. That's the most fun about the Ford. It sounds too good.
Yeah. So going back to the action here, pit stops for the GT3 started about 18 minutes into the race, which was our first lead change. So Chase took a giant, basically all of the GT3 cars, a big old batch of them down pit road all at once, and Brian Coxon decided to stay out and lead a lap. So that was our first lead change with Brian Coxon taking over at the 22-minute mark. Um, which was short lived. Once he pulled down the pit, once Brian pulled down the pits, Chase went motoring by and resumed that lead and went back into sailing mode. It was between the pit stops there. Chase was actually able to put some time down between himself and Jason Phillips and Shea McNeely. So a little bit of change in strategy, I believe, from the other two competitors between Chase and the other two. So pretty interesting to see. As the race went on, about the final third of the race, we seen the GT4 leader, Nick Aslin, caught some gravel, I believe, on the exit of turn 8 and put it right in the wall, which is unfortunate. I mean, at that point, I believe he had like a good, at least couple second to a couple second lead and just had to kind of manage that for the last 20 minutes. And it just kind of looked like it got out from under him right to the wall. So, um, unfortunate. He was running a really good race and lost the lead there. He handed it over to Ron Kabiltis, who facilitated that lead up until about the last minute of the race. So a lot happened in the last minute of the race. JT, do you know how much happened in the last minute of the race?
Oh, let's see. I think Brian Coxon had an issue.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see the over. Do you want to? Do you want to call?
Oh
I don't want to
yeah.
spoil. I'm gonna let you
No.
talk
So
through, I guess, what had actually happened or not.
I didn't get to actually make out exactly what happened, but I did see Brian Coxon got involved with another car, which removed him from a podium position. So he was in third place, Jason Phillips second, Chase Fincher first, and he got involved with a second car, pulled him out.
Mm,
Um, so that happened. Also, leading up to the checkered flag, Jason Phillips has to serve a black flag.
yep. Yeah, I
So
saw that on
Jason
the
Phillips
broadcast.
has to pull down pit road as they're calling the race win, and uh, loses his podium position. So he goes from second place out of the podium position, which then hands the second place over to Shea McNeely, Johan DeRoy with a race. He really wasn't mentioned too much in the race. He was kind of just sneaking around the top 5 the whole time. gets a third place for the podium, and Chase Fincher comes away with the win for the GT3 series or class. So a lot happened there in the last minute. So with the GT4s, we've talked about Nick Aslin getting into his incident. There was an 11-second gap. There was an 11-second gap between Ron Cabiltas and Kyle Ryan. And I don't know if Ron was losing his tires or if he was kind of shaking it out, but if you're watching the broadcast, you can see this 11-second gap just methodically over the laps just get lower and lower and lower and lower. And then finally, Ron Cabiltas, I think he had an off track to where he had to recover the car, like straighten it out and rebuild speed. And that by that point in time, Kyle Ryan was 2 seconds behind. So that hiccup let Kyle get around him and sail off to pick up the win to start the season. So
First time winner too.
first time winner, and man, he had to feel good making that charge. Like just seeing that time tick off, tick off, tick off. Um, so it was good to see Kyle Ryan win. Sucks for Ron Cabiltas that he ran it as hard as he did. He had that finish in sight and just had one hiccup handed over, but that's what happens in these races. That's racing in general. I mean, you're going to have races where you're having a good race, Nick, and something happens to where you find a wall or you spin out or you just lose something and it just balls up your race. But he was able to bring home second, and Dan Gish was able to bring home third for the GT4s. So all in all, it was an eventful race. Very eventful race, and the road guys put on one heck of a race. And I can't say it enough. If you have not gone back and watched the stream, the broadcast, you can find it in the YouTube channel. Go back and watch it. Adam Sondag, again, called a great race with 50 ish. I don't know the exact numbers, but with 50 ish cars on the track, he did a really good job.
Mhm.
So, all you road guys listening, good job putting on a good race. Got to carry that momentum over to next race, which is tomorrow. Heading out to Watkins Glen for an endurance race. Did I read that right, JT? It's a late afternoon race, so we're going to be seeing a sunset.
Yeah, we should be going into it with the endurance race. So first one of the season, we got 3 in total. But yeah, it should be a good one. So should probably transition. I'm not sure if it's gonna get dark, but yeah, it'll definitely transition.
Awesome. And again, I want to give a shout out to Chase Fincher, bringing home the win there in that nice Vice City paint scheme. I gotta say, the colors on that thing were really nice to see going around the track.
It
Uh,
stands out for sure.
oh, it does. I don't know what it is about those colors, man. At times, the neon
He
look.
he would look great if he stream races wearing like some 80s like aviators and just like the white leisure suit would fit Chase perfectly.
Well, there you go, Chase. I think you just
He
found your
got the
way to get yourself
livery.
get a million subscribers that way.
Uh,
Kyle Ryan bringing home the GT4 win. We got his car up there on the screen. It I don't know what it is, man. It's the colors. That's another colorful one. So maybe you guys driving these cars with the dark colors and stuff. Maybe switch it over to something colorful. Maybe that's the key here.
well, Chase just said he's got a new livery apparently coming, but I think we gave him like a really good idea. Like you could adopt that persona and just put a webcam on you while you race.
Heck yeah. Maybe throw a cowboy hat in there at times. You'd be good to go. So we're gonna throw up some points, even though at this point in the season they really don't matter because it's one race in. So Chase, of course, taking that Acura and putting it up top. followed by the two Porsches of Shea McNeely and Johan DeRoy. Brian Cox in fourth, which good recovery from that accident. Greg Conaway fifth in the McLaren. Max Bauer, haven't seen that name in a while. Max Bauer,
Hmm.
sorry, haven't seen that name in a while. Bringing home the Ferrari there in sixth. John Daniels seventh. And his Ferrari, the two Acuras of Chester Miller, Jason Phillips, eighth and ninth, and Steve Hansel back to the Porsche, bringing home 10th place. So,
Yeah, Maxwell's a charger because I think he qualified like 15th, 16th or something. So he charged up quite a few positions.
man, probably working through that field like a bull in a china shop, just trying to get through. All right, the GT4s, Kyle Ryan taking the lead there. Is that the Aston Martin? I believe
Yeah,
that
so
is.
it would be the Aston. Yep.
Yeah. Everything else usually has a pretty describable name, and that one I can't see. So, uh, Ron Kabiltis and Dan Gish with the Mercedes there, second and third. Zach Alexander fourth with the Porsche. Then you got the two McLarens. I did not see Chris Hopper going to a McLaren. So, Chris Hopper fifth and Cody Hit sixth.
Height? Hit
Height,
height? One of the
yeah, double McLarens. Man, these Porsches, I tell you, seventh, eighth, ninth.
two.
Rick Bundren, Nick Moffitt, and Troy Nissen, all repping the Porsches there, and then Nick Aslin bringing home 10th place there with the McLaren. So these points, like I said, right now at this stage, they're kind of just there. They're going to change as we go through the season, but
Hmm.
first race, it's kind of just like a finishing order for the two classes. So, JT,
You
was there
have
anything
to
you? Go
you have
ahead,
to
bud.
remember the bonus points are part of, so bonus points are handed out for per your quality position as well. So um, that could balance things out throughout this season. So if you rack up better quality positions coupled with a um, good finishing position, you can definitely make up some good points.
Yeah, for sure. JT, was there anything else you wanted to talk about with the road race? Anything you want to touch on? Anything you seen out there that you wanted to bring up?
I don't think so, man. It was just a lot of fun. Hopefully we get a big field again for tomorrow. Looks like we're hovering around pretty close to 40 drivers so far. Uh, yeah, 38 signed up. Still got plenty of slots open. We have the stable of drivers, so make sure you hit those sign-ups and check it out. But yeah, tomorrow will be a good one. Watkins Glen.
For sure. And if anybody's been in this league for, well, I guess since inception, Watkins Glen has been on a schedule. Whether it's been Cup, whether it's been Truck, whether it's been Road, it's been on a schedule in one of our series every season. So it's an old staple. So it ought to be a
Mhm.
fun one. And there's no weather, if I'm hearing that correctly, right?
But we have certain tracks that, since we're doing um accelerated time, you can't use the realistic weather, but there are some races that we're still using realistic, so we shouldn't see nearly the amount of rain or anything, and the sessions should be a little more stable, I guess, throughout the
Okay.
season. Yeah, we
Interesting.
we had a lot of rain last season. The Tempest system went hard on us.
I remember hearing that a lot. That was one of the big discussion points was whenever people were setting up practices. Do we want to set this up with rain? Is it going to rain? And I guess if it was raining, it was going to rain. So it's
Yeah.
nice to have those endurance races or the races that we have, and we know okay, that's static, so we can at least practice for that. Um, all right, buddy. Well, we'll go ahead. We'll move into the oval side of things because the trucks and Cup series all finished out their seasons, Friday and Sunday respectively. the trucks went out to Auto Club along with the Cup Series. So let's see how that turned out. So trucks, this is where JT and Eric kind of stepped out of their comfort zone and decided to be commentators for the weekend. So it's kind of like whenever the Fox Sports or NASCAR decides to put the drivers up in the booth and down on pit lane for a race and kind of shake things up. So it definitely wasn't as smooth as butter or uh, easy on the ears as what you normally get with James, but you guys did a good job. You guys did a good job. There was a lot to talk about, especially from the driver being in the booth perspective. So
Yep.
kudos to you guys.
And it was a hard one because I love Auto Club.
I was just about to
Absolutely
say
love Auto Club.
that it
So
was
it it,
probably a really hard thing to do.
it kind of hurt a little bit, but running the league and it's all about the league. So us taking a step back is for a week or however long we need to isn't the end of the world for us. The racing and entertainment value definitely made up for it on Friday night.
Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um. Well, good. Well, we'll get into it and we'll start breaking things down here, man, and bring that broadcasting perspective into this. And whenever we hit something that you've seen that I might have missed, just bring it up.
Sure.
So, Nick Aslin took the pole, and with the way he started the race, led a lap, and then fell like a ton of bricks. And
Yes.
whenever I was watching it, and you guys are like, I don't know what's going on with Nick, I'm thinking like he's saving his stuff. This guy's pulling the Brandon Cotton. He's going to the back, and he's going to run just slow enough or just fast enough that he doesn't get lapped. And he's going to try and save these tires. Nick, I know you're in that chat. So if I'm right, man, throw me out a thumb up or something. But
He's in there.
that's yeah, I know he's in there. But that's kind of what I'm thinking happened there. I know you guys were kind of scratching your heads on it, like maybe he is hitting his lines wrong or hitting that bottom line and he's just giving up too much speed to those top guys. I
Well, it
think
all
that was a
happened so
strategy.
quick. It all happened so quick. We're like, well, like, is something wrong? Like, is it a iRacing connection issue? Is it maybe something going on with his wheel and pedals or what? Because like he basically just pulled over and just waved, got out of his truck and
Uh-huh.
basically said, quit your rubberneck and let's keep traffic moving. Like I was like, man, what happened to him? But um, it, clearly it worked out for him, or he wouldn't have his graphic right now on the podcast. But it was kind of a little bit of a head scratcher for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
Threw us
Yeah,
through a loop.
I heard you and Eric talking about it, and I'm thinking like this has got to be a strategy call for him. Like I know Nick can throw some laps down if he wants to, which we see towards the end of the race, and I'm like, but he did like basically take his foot off and just kind of put the brake on, just like all right, go ahead, 10th, 11th, go on, keep going.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go
Um,
all the way back to last.
yeah, yeah, and again, it was just something that kind of clicked with me. I'm like, maybe he's taking a page out of the Brandon Cotton book. He's just like, all right, I'm going to baby these tires up until the comp caution, then burn them down. Um, and save having to put tires on at the comp because we did see that happen. There were some takers. I believe Jason Phillips and
Hmm.
was it Lee Kiernan in the 10 decided to put tires on under the comp caution,
Yeah, I think there's quite a few, and
and maybe the
that'd be a
61 as well.
that'd be a tough pill to swallow after 15 laps.
Very hard to swallow.
Hmm.
But yeah, I get it. Jason Phillips is still learning the ropes. He's my rookie of the year contender in the winner, I'd say. That's the sole vote in the truck series this season. To come from the road series, go to the trucks, and he's still trying to pick up the tire saving game, like the strategy that's involved in tire saving. Like, do I go 100% off the start? Or do I kind of take it back to about 75%, or in Nick's case, 10%? And and save these things because we have that competition caution. We have that pillow to kind of fall back on to kind of reset the field. Which you and Eric made a very good point during the broadcast. Next season, that competition caution's gone, so
Yep.
it's going to be interesting to see how all that stacks up next season with the tire saving strategy because you can't go 10% anymore because you're going to get
Yeah,
lapped.
that and the biggest thing is, I mean, penalties are they're gonna hurt a lot more
Penalties are going to be
knowing
huge.
if I start from the pits and I gotta play catch up, I don't have that buffer or that safety of knowing, well, I know in 20 laps or 15 laps, 12 laps that I can just
Right.
ride it out to here and we're gonna re-rack and go on.
Yeah, or if I do lose a lap, I'm guaranteed to get that lap back by the time that competition caution comes out.
Hmm.
That's going to be huge next season. So it'll be interesting to see how the strategies change yet again. But Nick throws the brick on the brake pedal, falls to the back, which lets Lee Kiernan take the lead. He assumes control of the race up until the competition caution. About a lap before the competition caution, the 11 rears that face of his. Thanks, Dustin. The 11 rears that face of his, and he
Benny.
assumes the lead. Yep, right before the comp cautions, the
Yeah.
flags thrown for that. So uh, pits first pit was exciting. We seen the 61 try to beat another car off the off pit road and ends up spinning it. And I'm watching that. I'm watching him sit on the end of pit road and everybody come off it, and I'm just like cringing the whole time, just like please miss
Hmm.
him, please miss him. So fortunately, we were able to get through that without any incidences. And Trevor McLaughlin came out with the lead. So he'd go on to lead the race for probably a handful of laps until him and Robert Sanders begin to battle. That side by side battle opens up the door for Jason Phillips to send it three wide down the middle and take the lead. And
Yeah, that was fun.
oh yeah, yeah, you see those guys throw on the parachutes when they start racing side by side. And Jason was able to retain that lead all the way up until the next set of pit cycles. So
Mhm.
he gave it up briefly before the pits started, but he held out there strong, man, running that top line. I appreciate you and Eric doing the in car camera and seeing how he was taking those. And I didn't. It takes me a minute to realize that those trucks you can go basically full throttle all the way around that top line and
Yeah.
just barely lift and it still stick it.
Yeah, I mean, I said it probably 30 times Friday night and 30 more times on Sunday. Auto Club, just, there's so many different lanes depending on your tire wear or, the speed you carry on entry and things that, like, the racing there is just so good because, I mean, all night long we saw maybe this guy's going to stick it to the bottom every single lap. This guy's going to run the middle. This guy will run the top. And then you had a handful of guys who were just comfortable, maneuvering around depending on how they had to, if they were working a pass or just trying to close the gap. Um, it was really interesting, but foreshadowing on the Sunday night before we get to the Cup Series was, the top lane was definitely the dominant lane. Um, you really had to commit to the bottom if you're going to try and clear somebody off of the top, just because of the RPMs and the speed differential between the top to all the way down to the bottom. It was just a really good. I just love that track.
Oh yeah. So following the pit cycles, Jason Phillips and Lee Kiernan were going back and forth for the longest time, and that's what you were just talking about. Jason Phillips running that top line. You see Lee try and just throw it down into turn one and two and try to make it stick and hope he could just get the tail up in front of him and pull off a slide job, but it just would not stick long enough for him to do that. And props to Jason for being able to run that top line and not just concede the position, but make him work for it. I know Jason's a rookie in this, and he's still learning the ropes and all, but he was able to stick it on that high and be like, "If you're going to pass me, man, you're going to have to make this clearance. You're going to have to make this gap and do it because I ain't lifting." And
Mhm.
you seen it. I think it took probably 4 or 5 laps of Lee Kiernan just throwing that truck down in there, coming up right next to him, and not having the clearance to make the pass and complete it, which then opened the door up for Robert Sanders to start to make his way back up
Yep.
into that battle. And
Mhm.
there was something I noticed at this point in time in the race. This is probably just past halfway. And any of you truck guys, Nick, if you're still in the in the YouTube, uh, can you confirm this for me? It seemed like the first half of the race, that top line was so dominant. But as the race went on, about the middle part of the race, you start seeing these guys on the bottom to middle of the track actually making fast laps to where they can pass these top liners. So was the middle and bottom line starting to come in towards the halfway point on? Or was it just people were wanting to ride the top to kind of save tires or just wind out their car and fuel save? Um, that was my thought. I was thinking, I was like, man, are we seeing a change in the racing line halfway through the race? So again, any of you truck drivers, the trucks in the sim, not the big rigs. Any of you truck drivers that were in this race and you were running different lines about the halfway point, did you notice a change in the dominant lane? That's the question. So if you can answer that one, I'd appreciate it. But Robert Sanders goes around both guys using that middle lane. He picks off Jason Phillips, and then just a couple laps later, he's able to pick off Lee Kiernan. So another set of pit cycles start shortly after that battle, which leads to Jason again coming out on top. And he basically holds on to that until I want to say it's the last handful of laps. And that 48, you guys started talking about this in the broadcast. The 48 was, in your guys' opinion, right on the line of making it to the end of the race. But he was the closest to Jason Phillips.
Yep.
Jason Phillips, we knew at that point in time, we knew that he wasn't going to be able to make it to the end, which was unfortunate, but that's just how the fuel strategy works out. And the only other fast car you guys had your eye on was the 11. We knew the 11 could make it because he was late
Uh,
pitting past everybody else. Correct?
I think at that stage, yeah, just because we knew they had the fuel to run flat out for as long as they could to the end of the race.
Yeah. So the last quarter of the race, which would no more pit stops. This is it. You're running it to the end unless you don't have enough fuel to make it, which we found out Jason Phillips was about 3 to 4 laps short. Um,
Hmm. I
and
think Sanders ran out before the line.
Robert Sanders ran out on the last lap
Uh,
before the line. So
Pretty much out of like in the middle of 3 and 4, I think, because like I was we were watching Nick come across the line and everybody else coming. I just see a truck like on the apron coasting, and I was like, oh no, I think that might be the six.
yeah. So Nick was able to battle his way through the field. Again, he was kind of like a rocket ship out there moving. Everybody else might have been trying to save just that little bit to make it to the finish. Nick kind of knew what he had and what he needed and was able to work his way. I think he was hanging around fourth, fifth place for the most part, up to the lead. Jason Phillips surrendered that lead by pitting for fuel. And then you see Dustin start to chip away at the times, chip away, chip away, chip away. And I think he took it from like a 9 second, about 9 second difference between him and the leaders down to about 2 seconds before it was all said and done. So um, hard fought. Uh, Nick was able to pull off the victory. As you can see, he made it to victory lane there. He wasn't an imposter just hanging out in there. Um, He was able to pull off the strategy. He won. Trevor McLaughlin brought it home second. Good job, Trevor. And our resident Denny Hamlin, Dustin Reinstedel, brought it home third.
Mhm.
Uh, to follow up on a couple of the guys who ran out of fuel there, they actually finished pretty well, actually. So for having to pit on the last lap, we'll run down it real quick because there's one in here I want to give a shout out to. Fourth place, James Olavison. Uh,
100%.
yeah, top five. In my knowledge, on a non super speedway track, probably his first top five with our league, which is excellent to see progress. So clean race, I believe. Yep.
Mhm. Yeah,
Clean
big
race,
shout
man,
out.
that's gotta feel good.
Yeah, that was awesome to see. James up there running and getting a well-deserved finish. It's
Yeah,
been a
coming from
long
12th
time.
place.
Yep. Yeah, he really that was a hell of a drive, and that was cool to see for sure.
Hmm. You got the oh, it was an Aslan top five. John Aslan. So Nick's dad brought it home fifth. Man, there should have been some party drinks after that one. Ron Schamer brought it home sixth. Jason Phillips, my rookie of the year, seventh. After having to pit with, I want to say it was like, I don't know, seven to go. Michael Harris Jr. brought it home eighth. Robert Sanders, ninth after running out of fuel, coming out turn three. And Norm Snyder finished or rounded out the top 10 there. So good job, Norm. Overall, great race. You guys put on one heck of a finale. And am I correct? Was there not any yellow other than the competition caution in that race?
Nope, just the comp. It was
Excellent
awesome.
work, guys.
It was a great
Excellent.
show.
Wall to wall. I thought when Eric before the race started saying like, "All right, now we're going to go green the whole way." I was like, "Okay, you just cursed it, man." But no, it turned out perfectly fine. Great job, everybody. Nick, awesome win to wrap up the Truck Series season. Something to kind of carry over to next season. But Dustin won the hardware, so looks like I got the points up, so they should be popping up on the screen. Dustin brought home first place in the championship standings. Ian Silva second, about 99 points behind, and Nick Aslin 8 points behind Ian for second. Uh, Good racing, everybody. Next season, we got some surprises with the schedule. I know last week I told you guys you could probably see that somewhere. I'm pretty sure I lied to you. I don't think Eric's made that publicly available yet. So whenever it drops, you'll be pleasantly surprised at how the schedule's worked out, what races are where and such. So it's going to be a little bit of a surprise or a little bit of a shakeup from what we've done in seasons past. So, but again, it's our summer series, so it's shorter. So we'll be able to get through it and then look at our long season again. Anything on trucks you want to touch on, buddy?
No, just a great season. A lot of good battles. I think it was pretty close there, from second back. And hats off to just all our drivers, everybody who takes part. We wouldn't be able to do it without you guys, and hope we fill it up again coming into the summer season.
For sure. All right, so we'll move on to the Cup Series here. Also out at Auto Club. Unfortunately, this is one that it's in my queue to watch, but I did not get to watch it before the podcast tonight. So JT and I are going to talk about briefly. I'm probably going to ask him a bunch of questions about it, and he's probably just going to be like, "Yeah, maybe you should watch it. Maybe you should watch it." So I'm going to run through the top 10. So we're going to do this a little backwards here. I'm going to read the top 10 off, and then JT's just going to talk about some of the race and what he thought were important moments, and I'm just going to question him about it. So Ty Williams brought home the win. First place, Brandon Thayer second, Trevor McLaughlin third, Sean Cunningham fourth, Aaron Holroyd fifth, Chris Vinson sixth, Jason Huffman brought home seventh, James Olavison eighth, Clarence Prince ninth, and Norm Snyder 10th. All right, JT, what did you think of the Cup Series Auto Club race?
Oh, I mean, you're testing my memory here. That was like 24 hours ago. Um,
Right on the nose.
Awesome display again. Um, so much battling. Like I think the entire race until the last, 10 laps or so, like 1 through 5 was, fifth place was within a second or so of the leader. Like just back and forth. I said it like nobody seemed content either, fuel saving, tire saving, who were running up in the top five. It was a great battle. So many, I think we had like 8 or 9 lead changes, somewhere around there. We had a lot of lead changes, guys fighting for position, and it seemed like everybody wanted to be up front. And I think it played more of effect in the Cup Series was the draft. Coming down the front and the back stretch, and then a lot of guys would pick that up, try and either dive down to the bottom and make that move stick. But a lot of the times, again, like we saw in the Truck Series race, that the high line was definitely preferred just to carry the momentum off the exit. Um, Unfortunately, some real bad luck from the number 4 car. He got caught up in just two bad incidents. One was a commentator curse, and then the other one was just one driver thinking he had more room on the top, kind of really didn't, and kind of Jason had nowhere to go uh, as that car came down. But we can get to that point. I'm not gonna talk just about that. But it was a hell of a show too. Just really good display.
Yeah. I did see in the Discord chat, going back to the commentator curse, that
Mhm.
Jason Huffman is going to be tapping into the dark arts to combat it next season. So, um, if
Mhm.
anybody has been, you know, affected by the commentator curse, over the last couple seasons, whatever series you might have been in, Jason might be able to
Well,
help you out.
I mean, I don't. All right, look, I don't get to go into the broadcast booth very often. All right, so
Uh huh.
to play puppet master every now and again is kind of fun. I didn't want that to happen. I wasn't planning for. I just want to go for a ride along. That's all I wanted to do. I was just getting in car view. Jason was in prime position. He was watching. He was sitting back watching the leaders all battle, and then he had to go and bottle it. So tough break. Feel bad.
Yeah.
It was just the luck of the draw.
Yeah, that it is. And that's just how it works out, man. Racing. It just so happens that your name comes out of the broadcaster's mouth and then boom, something bad happens. So with the race, was it heavily dominated by one leader? Was there a lot of lead changes you guys were seeing up in the booth?
Yeah, I think we had like I don't know, like almost 10, somewhere close to 10 lead changes, I think. The 71 of Sean Cunningham definitely looked like he was primed. He was running out front a lot. He seemed to be the best at maintaining that position. There was a couple times some guys got around him, but for the longest time we thought the 71 was just the overall dominant factor.
Yeah. Um and again, this one you guys talking through the broadcast and stuff, was there anything you were seeing out on the track that like the cars were doing that you're like, "Yeah, maybe I'll just take that and hold on to it for the next auto club race." Was there any kind of strategy or any kind of line you guys were seeing that you're like, that might be helpful? I'm going to pocket that one and just kind of put it away for now.
I mean, the high line for sure. Everybody was fighting to get up to the top. It was a little more difficult to pass on the bottom because there you really got to be able to use the whole track as on exit, keep your speed up, and with a car on your outside, you know you're gonna get them on entry, but once the middle of the corner and the exit, if you're not getting up to the top, you're we were seeing guys go down to the bottom, and that top car, would get next to him and then just start kind of slowly pulling away further at the exit of the corner. So that bottom car was really only getting to the left rear of that car that was running the outside lane. Auto Club, I always felt comfortable kind of running the middle of the track, being able to drive it downhill. Probably not the best at tires, but I always felt pretty good and felt like my lap times were good enough to warrant a good finish. But again, I mean, guys were kind of running all over the place. Like Jason Huffman was really, really fast. I think he would have definitely had a shot had he not been meatballed and then got into another incident, which really just put him out of contention. But I mean, he got a meatball and then restarted last place, and then it didn't take him long. There he was again, running P4, P5. Um, he was really fast and he was kind of moving all over the place. Said on the broadcast to Eric, I was like, well, Jason Huffman, you go to somewhere like Homestead where everybody's ripping the fence, but he can always have speed at the bottom. Like he's
Yep.
always run the bottom at Homestead. And I mean, you give me a fresh set of tires, I probably can't run the lap times he runs there running the bottom. So I think he was poised for a much, much better finish, had he not had the misfortunes he did. But he was moving all over. There was just a lot. Chris Vinson, I think the 32, he was a player. It was just wild, man. Like, there's just so much action going on at the front. There was uh there was just a lot. And like Jason in the chat right now just said he ran his fastest laps on the last stint, just running the bottom at Auto Club. So I think, if you're on fresh tires and you can use them, getting the car rotated and driving it downhill at Auto Club definitely plays out.
Yeah. I like how you bring the Huffman line into this because whenever you say the Huffman line, you have to specify which line since the man runs all over the track. It's just
hmm
whenever you go to like Homestead, you'll see everybody kind of like 3/4 way up the track, or Eric scraping the wall the whole way around, and then that 4 car just diving it down into the bottom, trying to sail it. And
He makes it
I've
work, dude. Like,
dude,
I'm kind of jealous about it.
I've ran that line once, and I heated my tires up because I was trying to track Eric down. And let me tell you, man, that line is fast if you can run it, but you also run the risk of just melting your tires. And I got to the point where I overheated them, and I was coming up. This was at Homestead. I was coming up out of turn 4, and the whole ass end of the car just went completely sideways and sent me right up into the wall because the tires were just melted. So props to him for being able to run that line while also being able to maintain his tires to a respectable point. Not
hmm
saying he doesn't abuse them, but I mean, he doesn't melt them to the point where he's going up into the wall at Mach speed. Um, so we see Ty Williams won the race. He's up on the screen there, going down to the end of the race. Do you want to go to that point right now, the ending, how it all worked out,
Oh,
or is there something in
if I
between you
remember,
want to touch on?
um, trying to remember exactly how the end of the race played out. So we had like a couple guys were definitely pitting. I think Ty stayed out a little bit longer. And we were talking, I think, when there was like, because I think you got about 18, 19 on a fuel run. And when we were getting close, we were talking because there was guys who were down on tires as well. So it was like the discussion of, okay, well, if you have a set of tires, you're running out of time to be able to fully utilize them. So when do you stop?
Mhm.
Or I think when the caution, hold on, let me back up. I think when how the cautions played out, it turned it into like a two stop and a splash, maybe. So it was, do you split the first stage? Don't take your tires, save your last set, to where you can be more beneficial on those fresher sets. I want to say Ty maybe stayed out the latest, but it was a good battle. Um, he was able to get around. At that point, when he was coming out, Brandon Thayer was um, in the lead, followed by Trevor Mack in the 99. So it was almost like, okay, well, which one of these three? Ty, I think, had that extra set at his stop. Um,
Mhm.
so he was able to use up those tires, and then once he kind of cleared both of them, he definitely had the pace to drive away a little bit.
Yeah. So it looks like end of race, Ty Williams had a almost 3 second, 2.9 second lead over Brandon Thayer. Those two those two are normally around each other during the race. Brandon put on a strong season, man. Getting a couple wins this season. His first one out at Watkins Glen, if I remember correctly, and then he had one follow shortly after that. So, again, if I'm remembering this correctly, this season's been kind of a blur for me. Um, so almost 3 second difference between Ty and Brandon Thayer, and then Trevor McLaughlin was about yeah, half a second behind Brandon Thayer. So it wasn't too bad for the top three there for battling it out from the looks of it with the gaps. After that, you got Sean Cunningham with a 6 second difference between him and the leader, and then 5 seconds back to Aaron Holroyd from him. So he had like a nice comfortable cushion. But um,
Hmm.
overall, I mean it's a race I'm going to have to watch. It was the finale, and it sounds like a lot of good hard racing, which you're going to get at Auto Club.
Yep.
Auto Club is basically a bigger Kansas or a funner Michigan. So I don't know who
It's
needs
the
to hear that
best.
one. Yeah, Michigan.
It's the best.
Michigan, while it's kind of like the ugly stepsister of Auto Club, it just isn't Auto Club. So uh, unfortunate they had to tear it down and do what they did in real life, but at least we have.
They didn't have to. They
I know.
massacred it.
Yeah, I know. They took a shovel and just kept beating it. But at least we have it on iRacing, so we can continue to race it in the league and on. I don't think it's on officials anymore, but we can race it in the league setting. So that's the one cool thing about iRacing. These tracks typically never die unless people stop racing on them. So, uh, congrats to Ty Williams for getting the win. Congrats to the Cup team for putting on a great final race. The championship standings are up on the screen right now. We got Ty Williams won the championship. Justin, you brought home second, 63 points behind, which I know the last race you guys just broadcasted.
I did. I held
Which,
second place.
yep, yeah,
Huh.
it tightened up a lot. So according to the points, you got second. Eric kept third, 2 points behind you. Brandon Thayer came to within 4 points behind Eric. Trevor Mack, 17 points behind Brandon Thayer. So it tightened up a lot, but we'll have to see next season how everything turns out with the summer series. But Ty Williams, I believe this is his second Cup championship.
Think
So
so. Yeah.
so congrats, man, on winning the championship. We'll have to have a Oval Series Champions podcast episode probably here in the next couple weeks. I don't want to plan anything for next week just yet, but when I get everything planned out, I'll make sure to let you guys know so you can give a listen, get your questions lined up and ready to go on the YouTube chat. I imagine there ain't no way that's your favorite track, Huffman. Michigan? Get out of here. Oh, strongest
He
track,
said
not favorite.
strongest. He didn't say
Strongest track.
favorite. He likes road
My
courses a lot.
apologies.
I think he really
Does he?
likes walk-ins and yeah, like walk-ins and Indy Road. Dude, he loves them.
No way.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Why would you? Why would you? Do you know nothing about our drivers?
I guess not. I thought he never ran the road courses.
Dude, he never misses them. What are you talking about?
Oh, well, I guess I need to pay attention to who runs in our road course races more.
I gotta find
Because,
somebody new.
yeah, I could have swore that Huffman just did not like them and did not participate in them. So, my deepest apologies, Mr. Huffman, about the road course racing. Michigan still sucks. So, uh, I think that's about all I got, man. Did we miss anything? Any announcements you can think of?
No,
Anything like
biggest
that?
thing, we're gonna work on getting the rules situated. So, um,
Yep, that's me this week.
I I don't think there's like a lot of like detailed stuff in the rules, but a little bit of a format change since there will no longer be caution. So a little bit old school, just the drop of the flag and cautions is all we're gonna have, which will
Yeah,
be
yeah.
which will be cool, be interesting.
For for legal reasons, I'm just going to clean up kind of what you said there. Competition cautions. There will be no competition cautions.
Hmm, hmm.
We will still have cautions, guys. So that does not turn this
Oh
into
yeah,
a county fair derby.
okay. I
Knock the
see.
guy out of the way and not worry about it.
I see my mistake.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We still have cautions. Just there will not be a nice fluffy pillow caution within the first 20 laps. So, um, yeah, this week I'm going to work on the rule book, get all that updated, send it in to be reviewed by my peers. The people that pay me the big bucks, and then or the peanuts, however we look at it, and then once that's through the review process, we'll release it onto the web and release an announcement so you guys can dive into it and see what else changed, because I know everybody reads the rule book. Everybody.
Hope so.
So, yep. So aside from that, that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast this week. I know I will be back next week. Justin, I'd imagine, as long as something doesn't come up in his life, will probably be here. So, um, that's all I got. So we'll catch everybody next week. If you're participating in the road series tomorrow, have fun. Enjoy the race. Oval guys, you got a couple weeks off. You guys want to throw up some fun runs? Go ahead. Just make sure you guys invite people. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty boring. So uh, we'll catch you all next Monday.
Yes, sir.
Until then, in the words of James